to talk about these guiding principles, these foundational issues that really have to be in place before we talk about the tactics to opening the can of worms. So let's talk about some of these foundational issues first. We need to understand etiquette, for instance. This is probably one of the first times we've talked about etiquette on the series. Why is it so important?
Well, etiquette is really important as the guiding principle. When I think of etiquette, I think of kindness, consideration, and common sense. So you have a difficult subject. You want to handle it with kindness. You want to be very considerate of that person's feelings, and common sense. You don't want to discuss it in front of 10 other people. So that's a basic guideline.
So when we're talking about etiquette here, we really are talking about behavior, and we're not talking about which fork to pick up when type of etiquette. We're talking about workplace etiquette. So how does that relate to behavior?
The etiquette will guide the behavior, and it will impact the workplace culture. And as I'm sure many of you see, behavior can be terrible in many places today.
It is terrible today.
you see this in restaurants, you see this at the gas station, you see this in stores. Behavior is terrible.
Yes.
Right. We don't need that in the workplace, and that's why better etiquette will create a better workplace environment.
So something as simple, you say, as telling people hi when you come to work?
There's a couple basics, and one of them is, how often do you see somebody come into your unit and say hello to people and smile? That makes a big difference to come in, and I work per diem, so I see people when they come into work. I see very few people do that. They walk in, they just get their assignment, they go.
Heads down, get my assignment.
Right, instead of just that simple thing. Some other things for etiquette, offering to help others and thanking people when they help you. That is so important, to thank people. Using polite language, not just give me that when you're finished. Would you please give me that when you're finished, and thank you for doing that. I really appreciate your help. Things like that. It's amazing the response. You get a big smile from people when you use polite language. Another thing you can do in a unit is avoid listening to gossip. You don't want to be part of it. Don't be a complainer. What's ever bothering you, handle it. Don't complain and bring everybody down. Respond to phone calls, emails, and other correspondence. That's polite behavior. Participate in department events. Some people think, you know, I work here enough, I don't want to come to events, but you're part of that. It's part of your teamwork. And then last thing goes with your first point, say goodbye when you leave. Say goodbye, have a nice evening, or have a nice night. Just little things that make a difference.
Seems so simple, but really contribute to a positive work environment.
Sweat the small stuff.
Sweat the small stuff, right. So relate for us being a role model as a leader to opening the can of worms. What if you need to talk to someone about his or her tardiness, for instance? You began with that. But you're often late for work.
Well then you can't be the role model there. That message is not consistent with your reputation, so you can't address that.
And your staff all know your reputation.
And they know that. And if you're disrespectful to people, you can't say something to somebody else about being like disrespectful to a new graduate. So it has to start. You have to have credibility to speak on the topic.
Being really credible and authentic. It starts with me, and it's about me being the role model and having the behavior as a nursing leader I want to see my team exhibit. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
So you've written extensively about etiquette. You call etiquette the nurse's advantage.
Yes.